Why is there so much nihilism in contemporary art today? In order to understand this, we have to have some historical context. So with pre-modern art, art endorses the centralized authority of society. It's endorsing the aristocratic patrons who are the only patrons for art. It's endorsing government institutions, religious institutions. With modernism, you have a new class of people who have earned their money through industry, who are educated and have their own demands for art. They're not interested in endorsing aristocracy. They want what they want and they're going to get it. We have markets, we have capitalism, and the breakdown of aristocracy. With postmodernism, you have a plurality of ideologies side by side, different religions, different customs side by side, rendering the authority held within them invalid. If you have all the religions together, they can't all be true, so they must all be false. This is where the nihilism comes from. It's a breakdown of any core set of values in which a convention can be established. Works like Tracey Emin's Bed, Damien Hirst's Home Sweet Home, an ashtray that was actually mistakenly confused as an actual ashtray and thrown out. Art that's indistinguishable from everyday life. It's associated with nihilism. Also art that positions itself as revolutionary, that it is repudiating all traditional notions of art, repudiating the institutions in which we see and appreciate art, and associating itself with a revolutionary character, that it gains meaning by being part of a system that overhauls all of society. So where do you go from here? What's next for art? The organic convention is something that I came up with to describe a common denomination between different cultures, different ideologies. So if you imagine the similarities between the Mayan pyramids at Chichen Itza and the Giza pyramids of Egypt, we realize that this happened independently in both cases. Nobody came over the Alaskan land bridge with knowledge of how to build a pyramid. It happened independently of each other. Very sophisticated hydroengineering, very sophisticated astronomy and masonry, used towards a goal that is ultimately doesn't give back a resource of shelter, doesn't give back food. It's kind of pointless. It's religious. It's a religious site. So why would a civilization devote its resources to something that doesn't give back food, doesn't give back shelter? Because it establishes a convention. It's a singular project in which society can organize itself around. And the aesthetic achievement of these masterpieces in architecture create a sense of belonging in society. In these ancient examples, it's much easier to see a convention because you have these epic masterpieces of architecture. But through the course of Western history, the convention that art adheres to is evolving, it's accumulating, it's shifting, very slowly refining itself. But you have the classical convention, the greco-roman architecture that we still use for our civic buildings today. I point out these two examples of Mayan pyramids and Egyptian pyramids just to point out that human beings come to similar conclusions independently of each other. And these similar conclusions are ultimately a common denomination in which a new convention can be established, and what I ultimately think will inevitably be established as postmodernism runs its course.